just gonna get confirmation that the stream looks good, and then we will send that on. Okay, I'm just gonna get Shauna to check it.
So just ignore it.
You guys good?
Yeah.
Okay. Can I get a go from everybody on comm? Everybody's good? Good on all friends? Everybody? Sure. You wanted me to be more chill than Tom, so that's what you get. Okay. Let's stand by with a VOG for Dan Clark.
I hate being so far away from the audience.
So
I can't step up at all.
Yeah.
If I just stay in, you can see me streaming.
stay more back.
But if I get off the stage, then I can stand in front of the teleprompter, but not too far.
Yeah.
I've done this a thousand times. So if I look like I'm in the shadows, I'm screwed up the screen.
Yeah. You'd be best to stay on stage, but you can do whatever you want. Okay. Are we ready for VOG for Dan Clark?
Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to welcome Dan Clark to the stage. Husband, father, entrepreneur, CEO, university professor, New York Times bestselling author of 37 books, primary contributing author to the Chicken Soup for the Soul series, an award-winning athlete who fought his way back from a paralyzing injury that cut short his football career. Dan was inducted to the Professional Speaker Hall of Fame, named one of the top 10 motivational speakers in the world, spoken in all 50 states and 73 countries to millions globally, including most of the Fortune 500 Super Bowl champions and our combat troops in Iraq, Afghanistan, and around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, Dan Clark.
Sir, I had Mexican before I got here. I'm excited to be here. Sundance, Utah, home of Robert Redford, the greatest snow on earth. 2002 Winter Olympic Games. And we're streaming worldwide. Welcome to the millions and millions of people that are tuned in to learn about the Private Money Club. You know, when you think of the name, thank you. When you hear the words Private Money Club, or you think of the word or the title Private Money Club, I want you to ask yourself, what comes to mind? Wealthy, you don't have to answer. This is being streamed and they can't hear you, but that was a really good answer. I think of the name Chris Noggle. I mean, what do you call a man who walks into the room and people stand and applaud? They kind of gasp in awe. What do you call a man who is so charismatic that every man wants to be like and every woman wants to be with? What do you call a man who is so smart, so revolutionary in the way he thinks about life that we're always in constant awe? What do you call a man who's so philanthropic, who's such a family man, who's such just a good human being? What do you call a man who's so bloomin' handsome he gives every single one of us a bad self-esteem? You call that man Tom Cruise. But because we couldn't get Tom Cruise to come tonight, we've got Chris Noggle on our hands. And he's asked me And he's asked me to set the tone for this entire event. Again, I was serious. What comes to mind when you hear the words private money club? What I think about is BYOB, be your own bank, be your own banker, which eliminates all of the institutionalized ideas about money and doesn't just beg the question, what about me? What about my needs? Where's my personal banker? Where's my personal relationship with money? And to prove how serious the Private Money Club is in an individualized format that introduces us to a community. Remember, the goal is not to do business with everybody who wants what you have. The goal is to do business only with those who believe what you believe. So they choose you, not just somebody who does what you do. So it's about community. Purpose of a leader is to grow more leaders who believe what you believe, not generate more followers. It's all about a community, a tribe. It's all about personal connection, is it not? It's all about teaching us how to be our own boss, our entrepreneur. And if that's not person to person, heart to heart, spirit to spirit, I don't know what is more important on an individual basis than Private Money Club and be your own bank, but then maybe something even more important than that to prove how important this individualized personal relationship community is. Let me just go around the room. Can't see very well. We have Gabby, Sean, Roger, Kayla, John, Tiffany, Tess, Lisette. Sorry, that's how I remembered it. Debbie, Julie, Dexter, John, Emma, Drew. Where's Lori and your beautiful son, Atlas? We have Marissa. You never introduced me to your two colleagues from the advertising agency, Wave. What you do for the Private Money Club is incredible. Behind them, we have Sean. We have Devin, 750,000 followers on TikTok. Have you ever watched TikTok? I've been into his home. His closet is so big, but it only has tops. He only has sport jackets and really cool, expensive shirts and some cool sweaters. And then about 3 pairs of shorts and some flip-flops. It's so good to meet you. Jason, in the back, we have the amazing Pam, wave. We have Lisa, how are you? We have Nicole and Rob Fuller. We have Ruth, we have Rebecca, we have Gigi. In the back, we have James, Nicole. We have the amazing and famous John Rogers. I was thinking Rob. I see his brothers. I know both of his brothers. John Rogers, Zach, the CFO, Craig, David, Joe, great friend, Stephen. We have Eve, we have Rob, we have Colleen, we have Elton, we have David, we have Lethem. He's from the ad agency. Gary, Erica, Dwight, Brandon, Kurt, and Melissa, our bookkeeper. And Kurt's on the front. No, that's not Kurt. That's Kurt. Sorry, I can't see. And we have 2 people that would never introduce to me, Bob, John, John's daughter, Tina. Tom, Bob and Tom, sorry, Tina and Megan. And and the amazing Shauna taking photographs, and she promised to maybe Photoshop an out of focus picture of Brad Pitt in my place just to add some credibility. It's so critically important that we remember people's names. And again, why did I do that? Because I want you to understand the significance of the Private Money Club. It's about you. It's about us, one-on-one, being present in the moment and making you your own banker, taking control of your future. I remember when I finally started making enough money to buy myself a sports car. It was a gift. But how can you afford some exotic sports car unless you finance it? Who are we fooling? I remember flying in and landing in Maui, Hawaii, and from the airport on my way to the hotel, past an exotic car rental lot. And there's that red Ferrari. For those of you who are old enough to remember Magnum PI, Tom Selleck, My wife was in love with this guy, and I thought, here's my chance. I'm gonna actually rent a Ferrari and drive it around Maui for the day. I threw down my $150. I'm walking out to the car, and this surfer comes up and goes, "Hey, dude, you want me to take off the hardtop to turn it into a convertible?" I'm like, "Yeah, dude." He pops off the hardtop. I climb in the Ferrari, and the windshield comes up to my waist. It's about right here. I looked like Mr. Potato Head. I couldn't even get it out of first gear. I'm like, that didn't work for me. Thank God, because I would have had to finance it and pay probably $100,000 in interest because I didn't have the money. I didn't have control over my money. I didn't understand my relationship with money back in those days. And so I was just reeled in to do what everybody else does. It's so critically important that we understand that this is an opportunity through community to, number one, encourage one another to do something perhaps that we've never done before and take our lives, take our performance to the next level. To illustrate, outside of these walls of this Sundance Redford room, we have a minimum requirement mediocre society. We hire people for minimum requirement. People graduate from high school and college usually at the minimum requirement. One time I came home from high school with a report card, had 4 F's and 1 D on it. My dad's response, "Son, looks to me like you're spending too much time on one subject." And my mom thought I cheated. That was a lot funnier than you thought it was. We have to understand the significance of celebrating us in the Private Money Club, what we're willing to do that no one else outside of these walls is willing to do. Because when I leave here, in 2 days from now, I'm going to hop on an airplane and I'm going to fly to Atlanta, Georgia, and then on to Dothan, Alabama, and then return through Dallas, Texas, into my place in Phoenix, Arizona. That means in the course of about 2.5 days, I'm going to be subjected to the same pre-flight safety demonstration at least 5 times. Talk about minimum requirement. I'm just doing my job. Are you kidding me? Any of you listen to the pre-flight safety demonstration aboard the plane? You need therapy. Anyone who has to be taught how to put a seatbelt on should not be allowed in public unsupervised. And yet every single time we get on a plane, they force feed us the same words: minimum requirement. In the event of a decrease in cabin pressure, an oxygen mask will appear. Reach up, tug on the gold cup, placing it over your nose with an elastic strap. Breathe normally. Breathe normally, you're going down. And they always stand up and they lie to us. Bring your seat up to the most upright and uncomfortable position. This kills me. Alive, dead. Alive, dead. I survived a plane crash, 1988, Stanton, Virginia, Shenandoah Valley Airport. Trust me, when you're going down, 1.5 inches does not make a difference when you finally hit. And the flight attendants lie. They stand up in front of us. "We're here for your safety." No, they're not. When you're going down, they're strapped in and screaming just like we are. Just once, I want them to give me the microphone. Let me tell people aboard the plane what really happens in an emergency. Ladies and gentlemen, in the event of a decrease in cabin pressure, a little gold cup's going to conk you in the head. When you stop screaming, brace yourself for a 200 feet per second vertical dive. And if you're traveling with more than one child, pick your favorite. Because you ain't got time to make another choice. What happens when we get on an airplane and the flight attendant isn't caught up in minimum requirement, just doing what has always been done? In the Private Money Club, why are we still caught up in banking like they want us to bank? As Chris is so famous for teaching us, we go into a bank and they dictate their terms. We have no options. And most of the time, they'll only give you a loan if we can prove that we don't need one. This is asinine. Just once, I want them to give me the microphone on a plane where I can really make a difference. I'm flying on Delta Airlines coming into Dallas, Texas, and I swear this flight attendant could have been members, could have signed up for the Private Money Club because she thinks like we think. She takes it to the next level. She's willing to do something out of the box, something extraordinary. We're coming into Dallas, Texas. Delta Airlines bouncing all over the sky, huge turbulence. We finally land. We bounce, we land. We bounce, we land. Taxi into the gate. Flight attendant comes over the PA system. "Hi, welcome to Dallas, Texas. If you enjoyed your flight, tell your friends you flew Delta Airlines. If you did not enjoy your flight, tell your friends you flew Southwest. And everybody on the plane goes, huh? And obviously the flight attendant had a great relationship with leadership, because she then says, and please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened while Captain Kangaroo bounces us the rest of the way to the gate. That's funny. And is it contagious? Yeah. An elderly woman walking in the aisle with her cane right behind me. She comes to the doorway. You're the pilot? Yes, ma'am. Did we really land or did we get shot down? Private Money Club inspires us. It entices us to do something different because we start thinking different. And we basically bail out of the minimum requirement mediocrity outside of these walls and take control of our lives, control of our finances as a community with true connection, true heart-to-heart, person-to-person, in the moment relationships that really matter. May I just suggest that time is of the essence, because the Private Money Club has been up for a while, kind of a new revamped website that's so exciting. But starting tomorrow, the price of membership, of signing up, is going to go up another $100 every single day. Take advantage of the moment. At some point, we've got to leave no regrets. May I just share a quick story before I bring out His Majesty, the guru, the oracle, the sage, the young man the old soul in a young man's body. I almost got that backwards. Wouldn't that have been tricky? We have to live our lives right now. We can't afford to leave regrets. Are you with me? Last year in the National Football League, there were 4 divisional playoff games, each of which ended up in the last play of the game to determine the victor, the winner or the loser. In the last play of the game, in 4 divisional games, the game between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Buffalo Bills came down to the last 2 minutes of the game, where collectively both teams scored 25 points. And all of a sudden the Bills went ahead, the Chiefs went ahead, the Bills went ahead, the Chiefs went ahead, the Bills went ahead. And with only 13 seconds left in the game, Patrick Mahomes, quarterback of the Kansas City Chiefs, assembles his team on the 25-yard line. 13 seconds left to go. Do you give up? Oh, my life sucks. I don't have any money to invest in this or to buy into this or to become my own entrepreneur, whatever the case may be. We can always talk ourselves out of anything. And that's because we don't live in the moment. How many of us have heard lately, you got to be present. You got to be present in the moment. You got to be present. What if your present sucks? Then we medicate. Or we live in the past, which creates regrets and depression. Or we live in the future, which creates worry, stress, and anxiety. 13 seconds left in the game. Patrick Mahomes and his 10 teammates come out in the huddle. And I've interviewed Patrick Mahomes. This is the exact conversation. Guys, what can we do right now? Anybody can fire up right now. Anybody can pull the trigger right now. If we just eliminate all the distractions, we stop talking ourselves out of it. What can we do right now? Rise to the occasion right now. And 2 plays later, he has the Chiefs down to the 40-yard line. They call timeout with 2 seconds left in the game. Let me pause. 11 seconds right now? Could you sign up for the Private Money Club? Absolutely you could. What's holding you back? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. The Chiefs are now on the 40-yard line. They call timeout. Their kicker comes out on the field. His responsibility is to kick the game-tying field goal to put it into overtime and give them a chance to win. And the kicker missed the previous kick. If he's living in his past, what is he saying? Man, I'm not going out. I quit. My kids will never have any friends again. They can't go to school. I'm going to have to move. Why did I pick the most stressful job on the planet? I don't want to kick. I missed the last kick. You don't understand. I missed the last kick. I can't pull the trigger. I can't sign up for the private money club. I'm not willing to take a chance. You got to roll the dice, my friends. Kicker comes out, bam, hits the field goal. Overtime, 8 plays later, the Kansas City Chiefs are champions because they pulled the trigger right now. Let me leave you with a thought. Today, you've never been this old before. And today, you'll never be this young again. So right now matters, and every right now matters, which means no matter what your past has been, you have a spotless future. Which means you can't always control what happens, but you can always control what happens next. So here's my question. Do you believe that when Chris gets through tonight, you'll have enough information to pull the trigger? You don't need any more than 50% of the knowledge and information to pull the trigger. If you wait and have 70% of the information, you've waited too long. If you only have 20 or 30% of the information, you don't pull the trigger. It's more of a trust issue. I trust his intuition. I trust his research. I trust his time-tested system, his proven process. But when you can get at least 50% of the information required, you got to pull the trigger. Why? One moment in time can change you forever. Guaranteed, tonight can change your future forever. One moment in time changes everything. Proof. I was on the program with Henry Winkler, the Fonzie from Happy Days, clearly one of the funniest guys I've ever met. For those of you who are so young, you don't even know who I'm talking about. He started in a 1970s television sitcom called Happy Days, and he played the character the Fonz, the coolest guy who ever lived. Hey, whoa. Henry Winkler and I, we finished our speeches. He decides he wants to take some time off and treat himself to a matinee movie. So we slide in through the side exit door of the theater. And as we shuffle ourselves through the aisle, we find ourselves some vacant seats. As we turn to sit down in the chairs to look up at the movie screens, the little girl sitting right behind us smiles this giant smile. She points her finger and she slowly says, Fonzie. Henry Winkler immediately snaps into the Fonzie character from Happy Days. Hey, whoa. And the lady sitting next to the little girl passes out. Henry Winkler milks the moment. Whoa, I thought this only happened on TV drama. Hey, how cool is this? Whoa. Theater manager comes out, takes care of the woman's needs. She's lying in the aisle. Cold pack on her forehead. She's asked one question. Why did you pass out? She said, my little girl is autistic. And that is the very first word she has ever spoken in her entire life. Let's focus in on right now. It's my pleasure to formally and quickly introduce our guru, our amazing thinker, the one who has revolutionized our relationship with money. And his name is Chris Noggle. He grew up in Buffalo, New York. He was fascinated by money since he was a little kid. Found himself on Wall Street as a guru, doing everything he needed to do to make some buku bucks. He became a professional snowboarder because he was willing to take a chance to roll the dice, to figure out what it was like to step outside the lines, to go off the ski run and hit these bumps and do flips and do all the crazy things that these snowboarders do. And then that led him to thinking and analyzing and truly creating one of the most revolutionary systems to make money, to keep money, to scale money within the community. Yep, Private Money Club, it brings together those with money and those looking for money, eharmony.noggle. To bring him to the stage, he and I love quotes, and let me just share a favorite quote that we have from Stephen Jobs. He said, because the ones who are crazy enough to think that they can change the world are the ones who do. Please welcome to the stage, clap, cheer, name your future children, Chris, do the wave, whatever we need to do to show our respect, admiration for this genius of a money manager. Please bring to the stage my buddy, my hero, my mentor, Chris Noggle.
I'm still laughing. Oh my God, thank you. Oh my gosh, that was absolutely insane. So, all right. Well, thank you all for being here. It is honestly an honor and a true privilege to be here with all of you and all of you online, all of you sitting here. So I want to just jump right in. How often in your lives does something happen that has the potential to truly change the world? I like to think that happens once in a lifetime. And that's if we're lucky. And you know, the funny thing is that's exactly how long it's taken me to get right here, right now, on this stage, where I get to literally talk to you about something that I've put my heart and soul into, and my team has too, something that has been literally the most rewarding, the most challenging, and will be one of my greatest accomplishments. And I get to share all this with all of you. And the one thing I will tell you standing up here, what we're doing tonight, not me, what we are doing tonight will change the world for people like you and me. Not only will it change the world, it will change the world and the way money works. And that is a really big goal. One that, to be quite honest, scares the living shit out of me. Just got to put it out there. But for the past 2 years, I've given my time, my energy, I've given my effort, and I've given everything that I've got to create this project. This project is one that my team and I call the Private Money Club. And the interesting thing about PMC, as we've named it, is its origins are, well, to be honest, not all that usual, because they are completely unusual. And what I want to do is I want to tell you how this whole thing came to be. You see, back in my younger days, I had a dream of being a pro snowboarder. And I got to travel all around the world, all around the country, traveling to the best resorts like Utah right here, Snowbird, Brighton, all some of my favorite resorts. And, you know, being a young, devilishly good-looking young pro snowboarder, I was never wanting to be alone when I traveled. I was single back in those days. And I remember when I'd go to these places, I'd be like, I don't want to be alone. So I came up with this discovery. It's not really a discovery. I just found this thing. And it was a dating site. It's called eHarmony. And I got pretty good at using it. It was cool. It was me. I had my profile. I had all my descriptions. And then over here, I had all the women, and they had the profiles, where they were from and what they were looking for. And all I did is connected in the middle in their chat. And because I practiced and I got pretty good at this, when I traveled, I rarely was alone. This to me, although not all that uncommon today, this to me was success. But now, my wife doesn't really love that story. So let me fast forward to after I got married, and let me say happily married, when my wife and I, we weren't really in the situation, in the position we're in now. Back then, we were searching. We were searching for the secrets of the wealthy. What was it that the wealthy were doing that enabled them to live their perfect day every day? And in that search, that took us from event to event. It took us from seminar to seminar. And I'll never forget this one seminar. We were sitting there, and this guy goes up on stage. He was a devilishly good-looking guy, too. And he gets on stage, and he's talking about money. I perk right up. I'm like, I'm the Wall Street guy. This guy's talking about money. But the difference was, the way he talked about money was completely opposite of every single thing I learned as an advisor. And that was almost 13 years as an advisor when I saw Greg Hurling take that stage. And I will never forget his words, and I want you to remember these. He said at the end of his talk, he said, the ultimate in real estate is being the bank. That was ingrained into my mind. I had no idea what that meant, but you know what? To me at that very moment, I'm like, yep, honey, what we got to do is we got to go flip hundreds of houses. We got to make millions of dollars, and then we can be the bank. Novel idea. I had it all wrong, but that was what I thought. So on this journey, what we started doing is the same thing all of you have done. When you need money, where do you go? The bank. So off I went to bank after bank after bank, trying to find money for my deals. Now, how many of you have ever been to a bank? It's fun, right? You walk in, and we've been conditioned and trained to just give control of our money to the bank, and in return, what do we get? A dumb sucker. Do not kid yourselves, folks. There is not a bank in this country that does any other sucker than dumb suckers. But I'd go in there, and you know what? It was almost like I was always walking in with my tail between my leg, kind of like begging them for money, hoping and praying, maybe this bank will give me the money I need. It was always on their terms. They were in control, and I never could say anything about it. Whatever they came back with, that's what I had to do. And I went through and I did this over and over again. But then I found out about this thing called hard money lenders. Oh, I thought I struck gold. These guys will lend money on my real estate, and they'll give me even the rehab money. So I started building relationships with hard money lenders and institutional lenders. And in this journey of building relationships, it was different than a bank, because at first they all cared about me. They acted, oh my God, your deal's so good, this is great. And everything seemed perfect. They would give me the numbers I needed. And then all of a sudden, the deal's ready to close, a week or 2 weeks out. And they always seem to come back with a lower number. True or true. Every single time it was like, I needed this. They said, well, I think we can get you there. I think. And then they come back and it was this lower number. And I'm like, guys, this was the number, not this number, but I always had to make it work. So I was pretty soured on banks. I was soured on institutions. I was working in Wall Street. And then all of a sudden, I don't know where we were, but we met this individual and we were telling them about all these deals we're doing. And they're like, well, if you ever need any money, I'll be the bank. And I'm like, ooh, this is kind of cool. So I started meeting individuals out there. I started meeting private investors. And I started learning a thing or two about them. Now, I want you all to do something with me. Right now, I want you all to close your eyes. Okay, just close your eyes. And what I want you to do, in your mind, I want you to envision, what does a private lender look like? Just think about that. What does a private lender look like? Now open your eyes. Who did you picture? Did you picture someone that lives in a big fancy house like that? They drove a fancy car, they dressed in really nice clothes? Because I'll tell you something, that's who I envisioned it was. And that's exactly what I started doing, is going after those people. But as I went on this journey, I started to realize that the private lenders were not those people that I thought they were. I found out that the person I envisioned was not the person that I was actually going to be working with. Because the person I was going to be working with, well, to be honest with you, they looked a lot like you, teachers. They looked a lot like you, engineers, in the back, entrepreneurs, and doctors, and railroaders, wherever he is, and linemen, and postal workers, and just anyone else. It looked totally different than what I thought it was going to look like. Because you know who the private lenders were? They were you, folks. The private lenders were you. And as soon as I saw that, I knew I had to change the way I thought, because everything that I had dreamt up, thought in my mind, I knew that it was coming apart and it wasn't the truth. So let me ask all of you a question. Why are you here tonight? Why are you here? Well, there you go. You're here because you want opportunities. You're here because you need connection. You're here because you need a solution. You need a solution to a problem that you don't even know that you have. Which is pretty interesting. The problem that a lot of us have and the solution are two different things. You don't even know you have a problem until that solution is solved. And the interesting thing about this is it's because the times are a-changing.
Oh, the times they are a-changing.
That's right. Bob Dylan's not wrong. The times, well, they are a-changing. And here we are today. We're here to change the world. It sounds so weird saying that. It sounds so weird, but let me ask you, what does a bank do when it lends money? Can anyone tell me, what happens to a bank when they lend money out? They get rewarded. They get rewarded in the form of principal and interest payments. They get rewarded. So let me frame that question up a different way. When you become the bank, what do you get? You get rewarded. Let's do that again. When you become the bank, what do you get? Rewarded. When you become the bank, you are in control. You get rewarded. And folks, the cool thing about that is you're catching on. Because that's exactly what Private Money Club does. Private Money Club puts the control, the ownership back in your pocket, back in your hands. It puts control of your money back with the people that it started with. And that means it puts control back in your life. This is a coin, and I want you to all, I got one in my pocket here. You know how hard it was for me to find a nickel? Has anyone actually gone around and tried to ask at any place if you can get a coin? They're like impossible to find, but we found one. Gabby found it. So here's what I want you to look at, right? I want you to look at this coin. There's two sides to the coin, right? There's a heads and there's a tails. There's a heads and there's a tails. Think of PMC just like this coin. There are two types of people in Private Money Club. And if I step over to this side, this is the heads. This represents people that have money. And then if I step over to this side of the coin, this represents the tails, which is people that need money. And then if I come back over here to the people that have money, they have a problem. Every person that has money that I've met, from just the average person to millionaires to multimillionaires to billionaires, they have one problem. They want to make more. Over on this side, people that need money, they need money to make more money. And the interesting thing is I've been on both sides of this coin. I've needed money, just like some of you, and I've had money, just like some of you. But the interesting thing is Private Money Club is the part of the coin that you very rarely think about, the edge. The edge of the coin is the connection between the heads and the tails. The people that have money get to meet the people that need money. And the best part about this is each one of them solves each other's problem. It's a win-win, folks. We've heard about this our whole life, but in life, doesn't it always seem like it's a win for somebody else and not such a great win for us, but they say it's a win-win, i.e. the banks and Wall Street and institutions. It's the connection that really, truly matters. Private Money Club, don't make it anything that it's not. It is just the connection. It's all it was. People said we couldn't do it. People over and over again, even just recently said, the hurdles are too big. You're never going to be able to do this. The legal behind this, oh God, the legal. You'll never be able to get this done. Attorney after attorney, there's no way you're ever going to make this work. People that are close to us, not just me, my entire team, said, you can't make this work. It's never going to work. And if it was such a great idea, how come somebody hasn't done it? You know why somebody hasn't done it? Because it's hard, folks. Success lies right on the other side of hard. Success lies right on the other side of fear. And if you always sit on the comfort side, you can't ever realize your greatness. You can't ever realize what you're put on earth to do. Listen, this might be the biggest thing we've ever done, the hardest thing we've ever done, the most challenging thing we've ever done, but the best part about this is when you start focusing on what problem this solves, it doesn't matter how hard it is. It doesn't matter what you have to go through, because the only way is through. You've all seen the book, heard that statement. The only way is through. You have to share what you know, because if you know it, shame on you for not sharing it. We knew the connection. We knew that all that was needed was just this connection, this dating site for money. Doesn't matter how big the hurdles are that we have to go through. It doesn't make a difference. Tess, I don't know where you are. Are you here, right? There we are. Right back here, this is Tess. Every single day, Tess goes live on Facebook. Every day, sharing her message, because she knows something. Her message needs to be heard. She knows that her message solves someone's problem. So every day she does that. She goes live. And I'm sure she has people say, Tess, why do you keep doing this? It's such a waste of time. And you know what? Tess realizes that because her message needs to be heard, it doesn't matter what anyone says. Right, Tess? You don't listen to people, do you, Tess? That's right. You don't stop doing things just because they're hard, do you, Tess? That's right. And none of you should. And I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to stop until every problem is solved when it comes to money. And that's where PMC really gave us the opportunity is we created a solution. This is interesting. We created a solution to a really big problem. But you know what the problem with this solution that we created is most people don't even know they have a problem. But you know what? There's a lot of other people that have created solutions to problems that nobody knew they had a problem. Let's go over some of those names. How about Steve Jobs? Steve Jobs changed the world, right? He changed the world. He changed the way computing works. He changed the way we do everything. All of you have a phone. Oh my God, think of what it was like before this. You can't even imagine it. He changed the world, but people told him he couldn't do it. People stood in his way the entire time. But all he needed was one. How about Elon Musk? You guys all like Elon Musk? I think he's an alien, but he's pretty wicked smart. Elon Musk changed the world. But he did it by solving a problem none of us knew we had. We drove around in our gas-powered cars thinking, this is cool, no big deal. Then he creates this super fast, really cool electric car, and we're like, shit, I didn't know that was a problem. I want one of those. And now his problem is he's going to put us on Mars. And you know what? He will. That's the craziest thing. That is the craziest. I'm standing up here saying I'm going to change the way money works forever. Elon Musk is out there saying, yep, I'm going to colonize Mars. Whew. I got to up my goals. If your goals aren't big enough to scare you, they're not big enough. Boy, I got a lot of work to do. But you know what? We got to start somewhere. And we got to start with the things that we know, like, and understand, which is exactly where we start. And I don't care who it is telling you you can't do something. I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's my haters. I don't care if it's my family. Oh, and by the way, it's all of the above. They tell us we can't do something. Tess isn't going to quit because somebody says it's too hard. You shouldn't do this. I'm not going to quit. Because the difference between success and failure for every single one of us is one thing: creation. But the easy path is called conformity. I refuse to conform, and all of you should too, because you are all one word away from success, and that is creation. So tonight, you are all helping me create and launch something. You all do know that this is the very first time Private Money Club has been announced to the public. The very first time. It's been around for 2 years, and this is the first time we've announced it to the public. And we're going to make history tonight. But it's not going to be me making history. It's not my team making history. It's us making history. And we're going to make history. And you know what the best part is? When we pull this off, which, you know what? Screw it. We're not going to say we're going to pull this off. We are pulling it off right now. We're doing it right here. And you know what we're going to be able to go back and do? Is say, I told you so. I told you so. And I told you so. That's the beauty about winning. That's the beauty about creation, is you do get to say that. Tess can go to anybody and be like, I told you I'd solve people's problems, because she did. So here's the cool thing. When you're around people that support you, when you're around people that make you feel good, you feel powerful. Being on this stage with all my friends here, with all the people watching online, I feel powerful. I feel good. I feel real good. I'm scared because I know what the challenges are that lie ahead. But Private Money Club is about way more than just money. Private Money Club is about helping people. So let me tell you a quick story. I'll never forget that first private lender. I mentioned them earlier. They said that they wanted to be the bank. Now, I want to be very clear. When they first said that, I think they regretted it. They said it because I was like, oh, okay, great. Well, here's the deal, and I'm right in, right? It's just what I did. And then you saw them pull back and like, oh, well, we really don't know. I mean, we got to look into this. We got to talk to this. We got to do that. Listen, folks, every time you do something for the first time, it's scary. When you rode the bike for the first time, you were probably scared. You don't remember because you had the training wheels, but they took the training wheels off and you crashed. I know you did. Don't you dare tell me you didn't crash. Every one of you crashed. Scary. But once you crashed, you got back up and you're like, that wasn't so bad. All right, let's get this. A little lean to the left, a little lean to the right, and I got it. When you first drove your car, how many of you, literally, you know, you all know the sweaty palms, right? How many of you, when you first drove a car, your palms were sweating? Yeah. Everything you've done, the first time you invested in a stock, you were nervous. The first time you do everything, you're scared. Well, these people, they were scared. They'd never done this. Now, I tried helping them. I tried telling them the right way, but they had to figure it out their own path. In Private Money Club, that's the interesting thing. We're going to make the connection. We're not going to do the work for you. We're going to make the connection, and you're going to learn something that you should have learned a long time ago. Somebody once told me, it was R. Nelson Nash. He wrote the Becoming Your Own Bank. And in that book, he said there's two things you want to do in your life, two of the most important things. One, you're going to want to work a job that pays your bills. I don't know why he said that. Number two, you're going to want to be in the banking business. Tonight, you're all learning how to be your own bank. But to be your own bank, you got to know how a bank works, and you got to know how to move money like a bank. And that takes doing something out of your comfort zone. But once they did that, here's the cool thing. They did it, and they lent the money. I'm sure they were scared out of their mind. And then you know what happened? I wrote that first check, that interest check, and I mailed it to them. And they went out to that mailbox, and they opened it, and they took out this handwritten envelope, and they're like, Opened it up, and they took out a check. And they just figured out the terminology of mailbox money. They called me up, and they said, I just want to say thank you so much for helping us do this. I'm like, helping you? You just gave me the money I needed to make money. But they're thanking me. How many times have you ever been to a bank, and you took a loan from the bank, and the bank sends you a thank you card? The bank doesn't thank you. They give you another dum-dum sucker. And then you go back again. Private lenders, once you start doing this, they thank you. Every year they bring me a Christmas present. That's just one. This happens over and over. Imagine that. The person that helps you solve your problem, you're solving their problem, and they thank you. It's weird, folks, but this is how it works. I guarantee you one thing. I can't ever say guarantees very much unless we're talking about that BYOB stuff that we always do with the whole life policies. But I guarantee you one thing. If you do this, you will solve somebody else's problem. That's a guarantee. And it will feel really freaking good. So now I got to ask all of you, are you ready? Are you ready to help me change the world? Are you going to help me change the way money works forever? What do you say? So Private Money Club isn't new. We've had this for 2 years. It was an old site that we've been using, and a lot of you have benefited from that old site. But you know what? We went back to the drawing boards, and we reimagined what private money could be. Then what we did is we've spent, 8, 9 months of painstaking months rebuilding Private Money Club to reinvigorate Private Money Club. And what I'd love to do is just kind of, if it's okay with you, I'd love to walk you through what we've created. Now, I want to be clear about something. Private Money Club will never be done because we will never arrive. Because once you arrive, the only place to go is back down. We will never arrive. Private Money Club will get better and better every week, every month, every year, every decade. It will be better and it will solve more problems. And when I'm done today, I'm going to future pace and tell you a little bit about what I envision the future, but screw that. Let's get right into this. Let me show you what we've created for you. So the first thing that I've been talking about all night is I've been talking about a site that connects you. I've been talking about something that's going to bring relationships together. So the first thing we got to talk about is we got to talk about people and how to find people. So here we go. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to go to find people on the new site. What that's going to do is it's going to pull up this and, let's just look at lenders. So we're going to look at the lenders, and let's look at lenders that have $50,000 to $100,000. There we go. Look at them all. Look at those smiling faces. Scroll down. They all look great, but let's see some more. Let's come down. Oh, there's 2 that don't have pictures. Let's try them. Sonia, let's connect, and Christy, let's connect. So right there, what I've done is I've begun the process of connecting. That right there, one simple click. I clicked only a few buttons, told the system what I wanted, and all of a sudden it brought all of them to me, and then I connected. Now on the other side, we've got Sonia and we got Christy. Now they have the ability to either accept and then we can begin chatting, or they don't have to. They could be like, nope, you're not cool enough. But that opportunity doesn't just stop with Sonia and Christy, because that opportunity just keeps on going. The connections will be endless, folks. We've been doing this in beta. We've had a little over 200, I think we're at maybe 230 people in beta 1 and beta 2. Folks, there's going to be thousands of people. There's going to be tens of thousands of people. This is going to be endless. So you're never going to be short. If one doesn't connect with you, move on. You know, this is something I'm really proud of. You know, like the connection part is really cool, but let's talk about a new feature that we just created, because here's one thing I always thought about. I thought about when I find a deal, it doesn't matter if I'm a lender or a borrower, and I see the deal and it's got all these numbers. Now, our minds, for most of you, I might be a little bit further ahead just because I've been doing this for longer. For most of you, you don't look at numbers, 10% or 12%. You don't look at that and all of a sudden your mind just says, oh, that's this much money per month. That's going to be a monthly payment of this. So what we had to do is we had to actually just make this easy for you. So what we did is we created an interest calculator. So let me show you that. Here we go. So right here, we could just go to 10%, put in 50,000 bucks, and I like short-term deals, so let's put in 12, and we hit calculate. $416.67 is going to be the estimated monthly payment that person potentially could make. But the other thing that you're seeing up there, see how it just says recommended? Now, we're never going to make recommendations. We're never going to put deals in front of you. We're never going to tell you a deal is the right deal or the wrong deal. We don't get involved. This is dating, folks. When you date, does eHarmony come in and say, hey, that's the one for you? No, you figure that out. But giving you tools that allow you to make that connection definitely help. So what we do is, because we know what you put into the system that you want, we literally just try to put a couple deals in front of you that match your profile, match your criteria. So you can see the recommended for you deals right there, although they're test deals right now, because this, when we created this was before the site launched. And did I already say that the site just launched today? Yeah, okay, all right. So what do you all think about the interest calculator? You think that was good? So what about, let me just, I gotta say this and I might get in trouble, but what about, like, if you're a brand new person coming to Private Money Club, and you're like, I don't know, I don't really want to pay for this thing. You know, I just want to window shop. We all love window shopping, right? So we've created that because it's a cool experience. You can go in and you can just go in, you can sign up and you just hit join now. You go to privatemoneyclub.com and you hit join now, and it'll bring you, you start creating your profile. It's very much like how you create a profile on any social media site. And you get there and then all of a sudden it's basically going to come up with this thing after you're done where it's going to ask you if you want to join Private Money Club. You know, right now, $997, and you wait a couple days, it's going to be $1497 a year. But you're like, I don't know, no, I just want to check this out. So you're going in, and then what the system's going to do is it's literally going to, because we already know what you're looking for. You told us what deals you're looking for. So we're just going to take the deals from everybody in there, and we're just going to plop them right in front of you. Okay, we're not going to suggest them. We're not going to tell you these are great deals. We're just going to say, hey, here's some deals that might make sense. And then there's going to be an interest calculator that just pops right up. So somebody doesn't want to spend the money. They don't want to spend $1,000 to be part of what can change their life. And they look at it and they're like, all right, let's look at this deal. It's 12%. Well, let's see, I got 25 grand I could put in. They do the calculator, they put 12%, and it comes up, and let's just say that that's $250 a month. I'm just making numbers up. You know what that person instantly does when they see that monthly payment on that money sitting lazy in the bank, where the bank's making 400 to 1,300%, they see that and they're going to say, holy crap, that's my car payment. And there's going to be an aha moment. Can you all say that with me? Aha. Yeah, because what they're going to say is they're going to say, wait a second, that lazy money can pay for my car? And then eventually it's going to be, that lazy money can pay for my daughter's college? That lazy money can pay my mortgage? That lazy money can pay for our vacation? You get what I'm putting down? It's not money that makes the difference. It's what money can do. When your money works for you, that's what matters. Money is nothing. It's a means of exchange. When you start seeing what money does, that's when you move the needle. And that's when you move the needle for two people in Private Money Club. So let's keep going, all right? Let's keep going through this. Next one we're going to do, let's look at some deals. There's a deal list in here, and we can browse through all the deals. So here we go with that. So what we do is we just come up here, we just hit Browse Deals. What it's going to do is it's going to pull up all the deals, and let's just put active listings in there because we don't want to look at completed, and we just click that, and that's going to pull up all the actives. Again, ignore the test. This is an old, quick flip first. Yeah, let's do that. Look at some photos. All right, some drywall, new floors or sanded floors. Cool. Not bad. Come over here. You're just going to look at quick glance at the. All right, you got some stuff going on there. All right, let's scroll down about this deal. You got some more stuff. They even put a Google Drive in there, but we're going to look at the financials. We're going to look at the property details. Let's check out the description again and just see what that looks like. And there you go. You got Taylor. All right, so cool. Now, at this point, you've looked at one deal. There's lots more you can look at, but the cool part is you're right there. Now, this is that point where you can either make a decision or do nothing. You could just say, I don't want to do anything, or you could even just message them. You could do all sorts of different things to start building that. But let's go one step further. Let's just say that you were interested in a deal. Let's look at how that works, okay? So if you were interested in a deal, let's give that a shot. Here we go. All right, so we're gonna do the same thing. We already put the deals in. So here's all of our newest deals, and 15%. Let's check that thing out. Red door, red shutters. Click on that one, and we're just kind of browsing through a lot of the same things. So we've got pictures, we've got details, we've got descriptions, we got financials, we got properties. Okay, so we got some good stuff. We got this handsome little guy there, Clayton, who's got this deal. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to click I'm interested. Now, this is the cool part, because now it's going to bring you in, and you can just put I'm interested in more information. It's going to auto-populate that. But right here, this is my favorite part, because this is the part where you're right on the verge of making a difference. Because you can put, yeah, I'm interested. You can put whatever you want, but you can type a message. Hey, I'm really interested in this deal, but I really want to see a little bit more. I want to get to know you. I want to get to know how much experience you have. Can we set up a call? Can we chat? Can you send me this? Can you send me that? This is where the site gets really fun, because this is the point where you start really thinking. You're like, you already know the calculator number. You already know what this is going to be per month. And you're like, I'm close. I just got to leap. I just got to look at this thing. So now what you can do is now you can just start messaging. So we've got all this stuff done. You could have said, I want to see a loan proposal, which they'd then send you a loan proposal. There's lots of education in here. And I don't really have time tonight to go into all the education and everything else, but we are going to pack this thing full of education. And there's also going to be this thing. So let's just pretend right here that you started a conversation with this. And this is the deal you're going to do. You're communicating, and all of a sudden you decide, I'm ready. And you guys enter into this point. Now, in the platform, there's going to be guidelines, okay? Kind of like bowling. You ever go bowling, if you really suck and you throw the ball, it's never going to go anywhere but those gutters, right? So we provided gutters or guidelines. And it's just going to walk you through step by step. We're not going to tell you what to do, but we're going to just say best practices. So all the different things you'd need to do that a bank does. That's all it is. And we had an attorney basically create a whole bunch of education pieces, white papers, and just different things on each thing. So first step, do a note, and there's a whole bunch of steps, but each one's going to have education. So how many of you like it when you go to a site and you want to learn something and it says, go to the resources page or the education page. You go there and there's 1,000 videos. How's that? Yeah, you're like, great. That was a lot of help. Where do I start? But what about situations where you go somewhere for education and the education is given to you right when you need it? Like you pull something up, you're at the first thing, and you're like, what is a note? I don't know what it is. And you've got a little button, you click that button, and all of a sudden it tells you exactly what it is. And you're learning as you're doing. You're applying knowledge when you need it, not when they tell you you need it. This is the problem with the education system. See, we realized that in Private Money Club, and we just said, nope, we're going to give you the knowledge, the resources, the education, only when you need it, only when it's most relevant, so that you can actually apply the knowledge. Does that make sense? What do you think about that, folks? That good? All right. So when I said we reimagined something, we also reimagined the messaging. So that's what I want to go to next. I want to show you what the messaging looks like. This is one of the things that the dev team and my team are most proud of. So let's look at messaging. Here we go. All right, so just like your phone, you got that little messaging thing, you click on it. Oh, look at that little devilish, handsome guy, Chris Noggle. There we go. We're just going to type in a message. Excellent. Put in excellent, send that message off, and just like you guys love, you got the little emojis, you put an emoji in there. Now, here's the cool thing. What I showed you is the simplest form of the messaging, but you get the point. See, this whole site is so simple. It's kind of like when we were thinking, like, how do we explain all this stuff? We're like, just show it. It's easy, but let's just say on this particular deal, 10 people love the deal. That one that we just looked at with the red door. 10 people love it. 10 people message that borrower saying, I'm interested. You can have 10 different conversations going in the messaging, and you can do it all seamlessly. Not only in the messaging, it's great. You love your phones. We all use iPhones or Samsung. I don't know why you'd have a Samsung, but anyway, iPhones. And we use them, and we go in there, and when we want to share something, like we want to send a picture of a deal. We want to send a picture of, well, I don't know, some people still do the check pictures. We just take a picture of it, and we just send it. So on Private Money Club, what we did is we gave you the same functionality. When you want to take a picture of something, when you want to upload a photo into the messaging, you can. You could be standing there flexing in the mirror and you're talking to a lender and be like, check me out. And there you go. You just send that message over to them. You see, the messaging was created to mimic what you already know, what you already do. Because why reinvent the wheel? This is already a little bit of a learning curve. So we just tried to make this as seamless as humanly possible. You guys like the messaging? What if I told you that the messaging is going to get way better? Some of you are probably thinking, well, how that's pretty good. I mean, we're going to make it way better. We got some ideas, crazy, stupid ideas, but we're going to make that better. But let's move on. All right. So, we talked a lot about lenders and borrowers. So let's look at posting a deal. Let's say you've got an opportunity and you're like, well, what does it look like to post a deal? Somebody told me that that's really tough to post deals on the site. Not anymore. All right. So let's post a deal. Here we go. Let's go over here, get funded, post my deal, come down. This is my favorite part, deal, title. My great deal, okay? Down here, description. I suck at typing. This is my great deal. Sure, okay. Good location, of course. Amount needed, 150 grand. And let's property, we'll do a quad, okay? We'll put a quad in there. How's a $150,000 quad looking right now? And we come up here, and then what we've built in is software, okay? And I'll talk about this in a second, but we're going to put the address in. See, there's another third-party software that the inventor and creator is here today, but we're going to put the address in, and that address is just going to start populating all the addresses similar. We click the one that it is, and boom, there it is. You're up on a map. Bedrooms, let's 5+. Bathrooms, well, what the hell? Let's put 4+. Cool house. Built 1936, right after the Great Depression. Square footage. 12,908, whoops, well, whatever. And I don't know, square foot wattage, 15,000. There we go, and we just click continue. And then, like I said, you got to put photos up. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go in here and we're going to basically put all the photos, just drag them over, drag and drop, drag and drop, drag and drop. Load up all the photos, make this thing look good, continue. Then we can put a whole bunch of stuff here, but I'm just going to show you a few. Financials, 150 grand, repairs, 25 grand after repair value, 230. Okay. We can put title company, attorney, and you would do all that, but you can click continue. Now it's going to bring you, after your internet's done. Internet here is not great. Okay. Here we go. Preview. Come on. Your internet's faster than here, but yeah, there we go. We got the deal up. Post the deal. Boom. Our deal is posted, and it's now recommended to somebody that fits that criteria. How you like those apples? Pretty cool, huh? Yeah, to say that we're just a little bit proud of that is an undertaking because of the last site. I don't know how many of you posted deals, but man, oh man, you might as well climb Mount Everest before your deal gets posted. Now we've made it simple, and we're going to make it even better. We're going to add more functionality, add more things that you can put up there. You can make your deal as custom as you want or as basic as you want, and you can do that. So now, let's go into the last thing, because all of you, and I don't even need a computer anymore, all of you do a lot of business on this thing, right? Phone. And we've even gotten in the habit of now using our phones when we're driving down the thruway, 65 miles an hour, and we're sitting there. Well, maybe you're looking on a dating site, swipe left, swipe right. Whoa! Whoa! Yeah, we do these things. We shouldn't. And I'm not, please, for a disclaimer, do not drive your car at 65 while looking at Private Money Club. Are we clear? Got to make the attorneys happy. All right, so we have begun the process of an app. Now, when we set out to do an app, one of the things I hate about apps is when they're complicated. Does anyone love apps when you go in and there's 50,000 buttons and you're like, I don't even know what to do. I just want to get in and see it, right? Apps don't have to be like websites. They don't need to be chock full of stuff. They just need to get the job done and solve a problem. So let's go into the app, because the app was created after a dating site, believe it or not. Because I thought about this, and I thought, all right, well, it's two people with money and people that need money. So people with money and people that need money. Phone, swipe left. Ooh, I like that one. Swipe right. Puts me right into a connection, right into a messaging. See that feature right there? Swipe left, swipe right, put you right in. Now, I don't have a lot of the video because the app was literally just launched today, so we just didn't have a whole lot to go on, but I can tell you there's nothing crazy about the app. In the future, the app will do way more, but today, what more does it need to do? You want to go on. If you got money, you want to swipe left through all the deals. When you find one you like, 65 miles an hour on the throughway, you swipe right. Boom, you're connected. Then you start chatting. You start building communication. You start building a relationship. If you're somebody that has a deal and you're swiping left through all the different private lenders, not driving at 65, you find a lender that looks good, you swipe right, you connect. And then you're like, well, let's keep going. You keep swiping left, you swipe right through another one. How much more difficult does this really need to be? Folks, we're just talking about how you all can make your money go to work and be the bank. This isn't rocket science. They want you to think it is. Everybody out there, including myself when I was advisor, wants to make it seem like it's so complicated because they want control of your money. Well, here tonight, I stand here to try to change the way you think about money. Not just the way you think, but the way everybody thinks about money, because it is time to take back control of our money. Then we're going to take back control of our lives. But until we start there, we're always going to continue to keep doing what we've been told to do and giving up control. But one thing I wanted to do, and I think we got this ready, I want to take away what I think about all this, because clearly I'm up here, I'm pumped, I'm excited, this is cool stuff, but let's talk about what the current Private Money Club members are saying. Let's roll the testimonials. We got the video for the testimonials? Testimonials are tough. Yeah. No worries, no problem. So everybody liking what we got so far? All right. Now, this is the thing about technology. It just never works, but we really set out to make sure Private Money Club works. So any of you that are out there that are clicking on it and you're like, I'm ready to go, we're going to get to that in a second. But let's first, when we get to these testimonials, you can hear from someone other than me. I've been talking here. Dan was awesome. How'd you guys like Dan? Do all of you know that Dan is a Hall of Fame speaker? All right, so let me just tell you what I think and what I know. It's not what I think. Dan is the world's greatest speaker. No question about it. And I was honored, just so honored that he came up there and did that. And, he said I was almost as good as Tom Cruise. But I want to point something out. One of our testimonials was someone came in on the Zoom and said, Chris Noggle is cooler than Tom Cruise. Woo! Now that's a big one. All right, let's roll the testimonials. Man, they look good, don't they? Hell of a testimony. You didn't even need to hear them. Did you see the smiles on their face? All right, now let's roll the clock back and let's try that again, but let's actually try to hear them with what they're saying. Isn't it funny how all this stuff works before you actually do it, and then you do it? That's what makes it so authentic. Good thing we got the words below. Just read her lips. Oh, yeah, he said it was pretty sweet. He's making a lot of money. All right, we'll come back to the testimonials when we can figure the audio out. All right, put your hands together for the lip syncing. All right, so let's get down to business. So we've spent 2 years developing this thing, just shy of $1 million. And here today is the first time we've launched this thing. The first time the public's ever seen this. The first time the public's even had an opportunity to be part of this. Because all the people that were in beta 1 and beta 2, they were just already around our campfire. So here's the deal. To be part of Private Money Club right now, it's $997 tonight, and this is a year, not a month, a year. Okay, so you guys saw the numbers on how much you can make. It's $997 per year. And if you sign up tonight, and we even extended it to tomorrow, the 14th and the 15th of October, it's $997, and it will lock you in for no less than 3 years. The investors might not love that, but no less than 3 years, you're locked at $997. That's a savings of $500 from what the price will be, because every single day after the 15th, you give $100 to us, because it's going to be $100 more expensive. And it's going to go up $100 every single day until the final day it rests at $1497 per year. Now, that isn't expensive. I have gone to events and seen products people launch that don't do a fraction of what Private Money Club does. Doesn't solve half the problem Private Money Club does. So what I would say is this might be a pretty good time to buy at $997. Save yourself $500. Take your wife, your fiance, or maybe your mistress out on a date with that $500 you saved and make it happen. And here's the other thing that we're going to do here is every single week or month, we're going to be doing every 6 months, we're going to be doing what we call a lightning strike, which is a huge launch. So every 6 months, we're going to do something very much like this. Maybe not as elaborate. This costs a little bit of money. So maybe not quite this big, but we're going to launch major revisions to Private Money Club. Huge things. Okay? So actually, so that's the deal. I don't know how much more I got to beat that in. I'm not a pitch guy from stage. I suck at selling from stage. Just buy the darn app. It's $997 tonight, today and tomorrow, and then after that, it goes up $100 a day. Are we clear? All right. But you see, we thought this through a lot, because there's still going to be some people that are going to be like, oh, I just don't know. I got to learn this. I got to see about this. I don't know. So why don't you just go in and just sign up for free? Just go in and window shop this thing. Check it out. Okay? Once you get in there, start playing around with that calculator and looking at the deals. You can't do any deals. You're not allowed to talk to anybody. It'd be like, I've never been, but Amsterdam, you know, the red light district, you're walking around like, yeah, whoa. But you can't touch until you pay. That's what the freemium's like. So you can do that, but you're just teasing yourself. It looks like we got the testimonials up, so let's roll those, and then I want to tell you what my future vision is.
I always just felt like there's still something else, and I think that finding this, that's something else.
Honestly, in our business, it's been absolutely game-changing. Part of our business that's always lacked is just the ability to raise private money.
I'm getting money every month that I never would have gotten if I wasn't a part of the Private Money Club. Nothing beats that.
This is probably the best way to do something.
It was like, oh my God, this is easy.
It's building relationships, and it's very relational, which is nice rather than transactional.
I wish everyone would just jump in and take a chance to truly have control of their life.
I knew we were going to nail it. But, you know, let's get this right here, because for those of you that have questions, maybe you don't quite know what's going on. Can we put that up on the screen right there? We came up with this cool thing, and I'm really proud of this. Just whatever's on this, there we go. And we came up with a jingle, literally like a jingle. You guys know what a jingle is? So do this with me, okay? See if I can get it right. 833, join PMC. Let's try it again. Call 833, join PMC. There we go. One more time, join PM. All right, to join Private Money Club, it's 833. There we go. We got the jingle. So for those of you that just have a couple questions, you're not ready to pull the trigger, we have people standing by. As crazy as that is to say, we literally have people standing by waiting for your call, and they will not mail you a dumb sucker, I promise you. They're just going to answer your questions, get you set up, and we've even created an implementation team so that when someone does sign up and they're looking at this thing and they're like, I don't know what to do, great. We've got an implementation process and an implementation team that will teach you the ropes. Now, I vow one thing today, right here. Number one, I said, what did I say we were going to do today? Really? Hold on. Let's try this again. Let me just walk off and I'll come back on. Okay. What are we going to do today? That was still pretty weak, but we're going to go with that. We're going to change the world. We're going to change the way money works forever. So, That was weak. I'm not going to do that ever again. So here's what I see for a private money club in the future, okay? Private money club right now is for people with money, individuals. It can be an individual, it can be a trust, it could be a self-directed IRA, it could be your infinite banking policy, it could just be your lazy money sitting in your bank, okay? Then there's borrowers. Borrowers need to be an entity. They need to have a company, an S Corp, a C Corp, an LLC. They need to be a legitimate entity to borrow. And those borrowers have to be non-owner occupied borrowers, meaning they're not going to live in the house. Those are the rules today. That means we've got a huge market cap. You guys all understand that, right? That's a big market. So in the future, if I'm going to change the way money works forever, well, how many of you like cars? Any of you guys like cars? Yeah, we like some cars out there. So what if you could look at a car, and instead of going to the bank and dealing with that bullshit, you could just take the car and just post your car on Private Money Club. And then, or go through and find lenders that have an appetite for that. Wouldn't that be cool? Okay, what if you wanted to buy a boat and you post your boat on there? Same idea. What if you were starting a business and you were looking for partners or people that matched your profile? Dating, okay? Isn't getting into business with somebody, partnership, isn't that like being married and isn't that like dating? Very much so. So a dating site for money kind of makes sense for that. So we've thought through that. Maybe even airplanes, who knows? You want to buy an airplane? Post the deal. In the future, I hope with all of your help that we can make Private Money Club more than just real estate. But for today, we got to start somewhere, and we're starting where we know, like, and understand, which is real estate and money. The other thing, too, I want to point out is back to my buddy Bezos. He's not really my buddy, but I don't even know if we could be friends. Who knows? But Bezos started with online books. And look at him now. Folks, if we can just start by creating a dating site for money, what the hell can we do in 5 years, 10 years? We can change everything. The problem is we're probably going to piss the banks off, but that's okay. Anyone have a problem making the banks mad? Good. Well, let's do that. What I want to do now is I want to open this up. I want to first bring a couple people up here because one of the things that I think is so vitally important is gratitude. And I couldn't have done this myself. I might be the talking head standing up here that looks better than Tom Cruise. I didn't really expect a clap on that. It could have just went dead silent, but I took a chance. I leaped on that one. I want to give gratitude to those of you who have helped me. And I want to first start with the team. Now, I can't see anything. So can my team please stand up and come on up on stage? You all know who you are. I think there's some more of you out there. Yep. Oh, yeah, here you were in the back.
I was.
Stop it. Oh, now I can see you all. All right, come on up here. And James has been filming the whole time, so we got James sitting over here. And
oh, God, you really can't see me?
That's nothing. They just turned him down. And we got Joseph. So, folks, this is the team. And where's Jim? What, Jim, you don't think you're part of the team? You think you're too good for us now? Yeah, See, some people just think they're too good. They hide in the back. All right. Every one of these individuals has had a very, very big part in this. They've put in long hours. They've literally put in sleepless nights. They've been kind of grumpy and miserable. So after this, I think they're going to have some cocktails. So we're going to have a hell of a night. Anyone want to have a hell of a night with us? All right. But I just want, real quick, I want to just have all of you put your hands together for this team because this right here is literally the rock star team. Couldn't have done it without them. All right. Your luck I didn't steal your cherry. All right. On top of that, I want to give a quick shout out to, where's Dan Clark? Can Dan Clark stand or even come up here? Oh, he's the tallest guy in the room. There he is. I want you to put your hands together again for Dan Clark. He's meant so much to us. He's been an unbelievable mentor. And same thing with Randy Garn. I don't know if Randy's here, but put your hands together for Randy Garn, whether he's here or not. And we got Rob Fuller. Where you at, Rob? Rob and his wife. Can't really. There we are, right in the back here. They've been very influential in helping us here. And for those of you that are around for the mastermind, you're going to hear from them and you're going to hear a lot of the cool things, but they're a big part of the software behind Private Money Club in the back end, which I didn't really have a chance, but it's called House Folios. So we've got House Folios embedded into Private Money Club. That's the creator of it. Not only that, what is that saying with Hair Club for Men? I'm not only the owner, but I'm also a user. So Rob is not only the founder, but he's also a user of Private Money Club. So thank you, Rob. And I know I'm missing a lot of people, but all the 25 investors, could you stand up? We couldn't have done it without these folks right here. These right here are the pioneers. These are the individuals that came in when Private Money Club was nothing. These are the ones that came in and took a chance. And not only that, they took a chance in using it and going out there and making that leap, but then they took a chance and became the first and only, outside of me, first and only investors into Private Money Club. So I thank all of you. You are the reasons we are here today. Okay. And just because we're streaming live, let's give a shout out to our Nicaragua crew. We got Troy Hoffman out there and all of them, and I don't even know all their names. We got a big, they're doing all the sales and they're doing our implementation and our compliance and everything else. So yeah, Jose, Xander, who else is out there? There you go. Let's put our hands together for them. What?
Don't forget about Raj.
Yeah, and that's where she live? I know, Philippines. And one other person in the Philippines who's watching right now and standing by to help all of you is Raj. Raj has been a huge part. You might know of Raj as Dale, but yeah, Dale at chrisnoggle.com, but that is Raj. So Raj has been with us, how many years now? Long time. And she is just integral in this. So I hope I didn't leave anybody out, but I just wanted to make sure I gave gratitude where gratitude was due. All right. Last thing I want to do, and you guys can stay up here, but I want to ask all of you if you have questions, and I want to open this up, turn the lights on, and oh, shoot, I'm sorry. See, I knew I'd forget someone. Tyler's standing by to make sure that the marketing, you're all here because you probably saw an ad, and you probably, as soon as you liked one thing, you're probably like, why does this Chris Noggle guy keep showing up? Well, that's because of Tyler. So I want to put our hands together for Tyler out there. Did I miss anybody else? I probably missed a lot of other people. So just as a blanket, I want to thank everybody else out there who has helped us in one way or the other. I think we got them all. All right, let's get the lights on and let's ask some questions. We're going to get some mic runners. And yeah, what questions do you have me about Private Money Club? Have for me about Private Money Club? Do any of you have questions about what time the bar's open till? Maybe that's more appropriate. And then, I don't know, is anyone running the StreamYard and the online stuff? Do we have any good questions on there that maybe I can answer?
So question, is there a limit to deal size and or lender size, or is it for anybody?
For anybody. Yeah, the biggest deal, well, the biggest raise that we've done on there, I believe could have this off a little, about 20 million. The smallest, if I'm not mistaken, is I think 10 or 12 grand. So that's a pretty big range. Yep. What other questions do we got? The bar is open till 10. Really? I covered everything? Any comments? Does anyone have anything they want to say about Private Money Club or with their use or what it's done for them? We are doing way too good of a job. We're going to make sure we change that so that when we do events, you actually have questions. There we go.
Someone online, let's see, from Serena, she said, if we're already in Private Money Club, do we need to re-sign up?
No. So if you're already in Private Money Club, you're good to go. You're just your membership will come due whenever you signed up on a yearly basis at that $9.97. Good question. What else we got?
We got a question coming in from Instagram. Do you guys take any fees off of any of the deals inside of Private Money Club?
Such a great question. Do we get in the middle of your deal like a bank does? Do we charge you points? Do we charge you fees for doing your deal? No, no, and no. We will never be in the middle of your deal. You pay your membership, and the world is yours. Whatever you want to do with it, we don't want to be in the middle of your deal. That's the whole point, is to put control and power back in you. And if we're just getting in the middle, how are we any different than the banks, the institutions, and Wall Street? Because when I was in Wall Street, I remember when people paid a fee for us to manage their money, when it was going up, like it was all good. But then when it was going down, you know what? Not good for the client, but we still got paid. This is different, folks. You pay your membership per year, and that is the only option is an annual. There's no monthly. And after that, you make what you make, and they make what they make. That's how it works. What else we got?
I'll say something. All right, so they very rarely give me a microphone.
I know why. This is Dwight, everybody. This is Dwight from the video.
Hey, so Brandon, my business partner, and I, we've done a lot of real estate, right? 1,100 flips in Dallas, Fort Worth. We're working on tons of multifamily right now. And Chris had to twist my arm. So this is like publicly thanking you. He had to twist my arm because I don't know if you guys know it or not, but as a borrower, you have to fill out, and I think there was a semen sample, wasn't there? That was given.
That was then, and this is now.
Right. I have 73 text messages from Chris that said, "Dude, you only have to do it one time. I promise." Right? Remember that? It was twisting. Right. To date, we have done 33 deals with 28 lenders. Right? This is in the last 8 months. It's completely changed our business. So thank you.
Thank you.
I got a text. Yeah. I got a text from a lender in here that I told him I promised him that I would read it to you.
Oh, this is great.
I know. It's a tearjerker. It's not. Don't brace yourselves. He said, "Hey, Dwight, glad you are headed to the PMC launch. You're a great addition to the site." It's a shameless plug from me. The rest is all about Chris, I promise. Mention my name to Chris if you could and let him know that because of him and the team, you and Rob Fuller, our retirement and life have completely changed for the better. He personally helped me with my first few deals, and that was so appreciated. Can't begin to thank you guys for rocking the financial world for Barbara and I. I enjoy the festivities. I'll be tuning in tonight to check it out.
Oh, wow. Thank you for reading that.
Thank you.
So awesome. And the funny thing is there's probably lots and lots of those stories.
So just saw this coming in from YouTube. They were just saying, like, how are they protected as the lender? Like, if they're new to this, like, is there any education or anything like that involved?
Sure. So there's lots of education. And the question was, how are they protected as a lender? Well, you're protected in a couple different ways. As you know, if you learn how this goes, the protection is going to come in the security. Think about a bank. When a bank loans you money on your house, do they just say, "We really like you, John and Mary. Here is $1 million for the house. Please just make sure you pay us back," and then that's it? No. I'm pretty sure you sign a whole bunch of paperwork. You sign a note. You sign a mortgage. That is your security. The note is just the terms. The mortgage or deed of trust is just the security. So in Private Money Club, one thing you're going to get really good at is you're going to get good at being resourceful, because it's not about your actual resources. It's about how resourceful you can get. So you're going to want to hook up and meet some good attorneys. Maybe you already have a good attorney, one that can help you get through, teach you the things to do and not do. This is just good practice. This is just good business. Not only that, you should never ever lend money without a security interest. I always like the Talladega Nights movie. Any of you like Talladega Nights? One of my favorite movies. And that part where his dad just gets kicked out of the school, and then he turns around and he says, "Son, if you're not first, you're last." That's how I operate in Private Money Club. But then later in that movie, his father's walking down the road at the end, and he's like, "Son, there's second, there's third, there's even fourth place." Private Money Club's got second and third and fourth, but I just like being first. And, that's a great way to protect yourself. So just remember, the protection comes from education. The protection comes from finding good people, building relationships, and securitizing your loans, because that's all this is.
Okay, I'm reading some off of YouTube, so there's several. But first one is Mark from YouTube. He says, "Can you find deals all over the country?"
Oh, great question. So you can find deals all over the country. So at launch, right here, right now, we can operate in 37 states. Now there's 13 states left out. Some people are like, "Oh, that's probably my state," and maybe it is. Boo-hoo, because probably next week we'll probably have 3 or maybe even 7 of those states up. Because you see, I'm not playing games with this thing. If we're going to build something, we're going to build it right. So therefore, our law firm that we hired, one of the best in the country and probably one of the top paid too, but they know exactly what we can and cannot do. They even said to us, like, these states, not all 13 are the ones we can't do business, but some of these states, it's very simple. But he said, I wouldn't allow it in the beginning. because I want to call the regulators and I want to call the people in each of those states to make sure that we're not violating any of their rules. See, every state in this country has different rules, which means we have lots of states. So I am blessed that 37 states allow us to operate, and now we've just got to get through the rest of them. And except for California, that's the only one. That's like the Hail Mary right there. Is any of you from California? Okay, so if you're in California, right now you can't post your deals, but you certainly can lend. So if you're from California, you can lend to any other state there is. You just can't post California deals yet. We will find a way. We'll figure it out. But that one's probably going to be the last one to go on all of them. So if you're from California, I'm sorry. We're going to do our best to get it, and we've got a law firm that is committed to making that happen. So that's a great question. So right now, 37 states. So when you go on there and you're registering, and you're like, oh my God, I don't know if I'm not one. What are the? Everybody's going to start blowing the phones up, saying, what are the states? Don't worry about it. Go on, create your profile, and once you put your state in, because you put where you live, it's going to pop up and say, hey, you are in California. You can't post your deal on the site yet. And then that's it. So then you can make the decision, all right, I'm not going to sign up. Or you could say, you know what, I'm still going to sign up because I'm going to do business in other states. I'm going to lend in other states. And I'm going to have faith that this team, the ones you just saw up here, are going to get it done for us. That's up to you. I can't change your way of thinking or the way you do things. All I can do is tell you we're going to put our best foot forward and make that happen.
For higher risk deals, are there returns that are available that are higher within the platform? It looked like it went from 8% to 12%, but for a higher risk deal, can that toggle be moved up to 14 or 15?
Absolutely. So because you're the bank, I don't care what side of the fence you're on, lender or borrower, you get to control your risk. So, and you get to control what you make, the interest rate you're going to charge. So there are deals on there, or you saw a 15% deal. That wasn't fake. That was a real deal. There are deals on there that are 18% because they're a second position. Remember I said Talladega Nights, first or last. Okay, if you're not first, you're last. So first position deals, I mean, they're probably going to range between, 8 to 12. I'm just spitballing. And then the higher risk deals, which may not even be higher risk, they just might be a second position or third position. Third would be stretching it, but those are going to be, higher interest rates because risk for the reward. So you get to control how that works. You get to control what your profile is going to look like and what you want, and then go from there, and then just get good at underwriting deals. And the software, Housefolios, that we put in there will help you do that. The software will give you some of the tools that professional real estate investors use to find comps, look up properties. I mean, there's really a lot of things that probably could go wrong, but if you really think about it, it's just logical. Too many people make financial decisions based on emotion, and that's why they get in trouble. They forget logic. But if you can just learn to basically kind of pause this emotional-based decision-making because of FOMO and temptation, and you can just take a step back, then the rose-colored glasses are going to come off, and you're going to be able to make decisions based on pure logic. You'll be able to see things for what they really are, and in doing so, you'll avoid the pitfalls that come along with emotional-based decision-making. So that would be the best advice I could give you. Just be logical. I mean, this isn't difficult. You've all borrowed money from a bank. How many times have you not paid the bank? And why did you not pay the bank if you did not pay the bank? You probably got yourself in trouble. But didn't the bank have something that they took from you after that? They probably foreclosed on your house. They probably sent that repo person at 2 a.m. in the morning to take the car out of your driveway. The boat's no longer sitting at the harbor anymore if you didn't make your payments. Folks, this is no different. You're the bank. Treat your money the same way the bank treats everybody else's money too, and their money. Like, if you're going to lend, put yourself in a position of power. Put yourself in a secured position. If they don't pay you, hell, go out there and take it. Get an attorney to foreclose. Get an attorney or a repo company. I don't know how that works with repo companies, but go take what's yours. The best thing about this whole world, I come from Wall Street, and now I'm primarily just lending money. This is something you've all heard, but maybe not understood. I fully understand it, and you soon will. The funnest thing is owning nothing, but controlling everything. Let's just do that one more time. It's so fun to say. Owning nothing and controlling everything. Now, some of you love real estate. Good for you. I hate it. Dwight, God bless you and Brandon, man. I don't know how you guys do it. Because I'll tell you what, my hair started to fall out doing real estate. But then all of a sudden, I'm like, I can just be the lender. And if I lend, it doesn't matter because I don't have to do anything. Just pay me. And when you don't pay me, I start sending you bad messages. And then my attorney starts sending you bad messages. And eventually, I own your house. But I didn't have to own it in the beginning. I didn't have to deal with your terrible tenant. I didn't have to deal with your contractors, your building inspector that slapped that thing on that said, stop work. Nope, that's your problem, not mine. How cool is that? I just want to know when that check shows up in that mailbox. Any more questions?
Are lenders able to see like buyer credit profiles? So if there's a buyer or a borrower, are they able to see like where their credit score currently sits just to see if they're credit worthy to lend to?
Great question. So we all know banks want to see our credit scores. So in Private Money Club, you want to see their credit scores. So in the guidelines, one of the things that we put in there is ask them for their credit report. Now, how many of you, can anyone tell me how much it costs to get your credit scores from one of those bureaus? Free. So it makes perfect sense to, if you're a borrower, to put your credit report up, or you don't have to post it up for knowledge, but someone swipes right on you, and then all of a sudden they ask you that question. Hey, can I see what your credit score looks like? Absolutely, they should provide it. And if they don't, you should not lend to them. I'm terrible. I'm like, okay, we're going to do a proctal exam. You're going to have to pee in a cup. So I just want to see everything. Send me your personal financial statements. How much money you got in the bank? How much money you got in that 401k? Because I want to know, if you don't pay me, where's the money coming from? So you can ask anything you want. But if you don't ask, you don't get. That's a great question.
I do have some more.
Sure.
This is also from YouTube. Dennis, he says, I have $60,000 in credit card debt from buying a house. Is there a way to complete the deal with PNC?
So he's saying he has 60, and what's up, Dennis? You have $60,000 in credit card debt, and then you want to know if you can complete the deal on Private Money Club. What deal, or if we're talking about the deal to pay off your credit card debt, I don't think anybody on there is going to do that. We could show you how to pay off your debt using a system that we've created, but it has nothing to do with Private Money Club. But if you're talking about, if you have a real estate deal, a non-owner occupied real estate deal, yeah, then Private Money Club could help you, Dennis. I don't think they could help you pay your credit cards off, though.
Okay. Next is Benny. He says, is Private Money Club different than an IBC policy?
Benny said, is Private Money Club different than an IBC policy? Yes, because think of IBC, infinite banking concept. It's a process. It's a process of moving your money and taking back the banking functions. Draw a circle. Money starts on the left. That's the policy. It moves over to the right. What is the right side, where your money goes to work? Well, for like Dennis, that right side could be paying off his debt. Okay, for Benny, that right side could be Private Money Club and the deals on Private Money Club. So he might have money in his IBC policy, and he might want that money to go to work for him. Private Money Club solves that problem. It gives him that platform, that mechanism, that connection to solve the problem and get his money working for him. Then he takes the interest that's paid to him, okay, on Private Money Club for those monthly payments, and he then finishes the bottom part of the circle, and the money goes back into his policy, which is his bank, and round we go. The best part about that is he's making money in the middle the whole time, just like a bank on a spread, and his money is fully in his control. So Private Money Club and IBC are not the same. Private Money Club just solves the problem that people that have IBC policies have, and that is, where does my money go to work? A lot of people that have IBC policies, they started to pay off debt, then they pay their debt off. Then they're like, all right, we'll buy a car. They buy a car and they pay that car off, and they're now making these payments, and then they got all this extra money. One of the problems with the infinite banking concept is, if you do it right and you do it often or long enough, every time you look at the darn thing, you're like, how in the world is there still money in there? I keep trying to make this stuff work. But when you're the bank, all the money just comes back. So Private Money Club gives you that next level, that next step where that money can go to work continuously and really into perpetuity.
Okay, I have Michelle next. She says, do you need to have a lawyer draw up papers, or is the deal written up between the people involved?
Do you need to have an attorney draw up papers? That's a great question. So the answer is maybe. Maybe you want your attorney to draw up the note. Maybe you want your attorney to handle the escrow like I do. My attorney handles all my deals. My attorney does the notes. My attorney structures the mortgage, and my attorney is my escrow agent, meaning I never send money directly to a borrower. So even if the borrower says, oh, no, just send the money to my corporate account. No way. First off, I probably wouldn't even lend to them if they said that. My money goes to a third party, my attorney. Then my attorney quarterbacks the deal for me. We all know how that works. Like, listen, we're not trying to make you work harder here. We're just trying to make you work smarter. Make your attorney do what they're paid for. And the best thing is when you're the bank, I ask the borrower to pay my attorney's fees. Why should I pay it when I got the money? You pay the fees for the borrower or for the attorney. So my attorney does it all. I would highly suggest using an attorney or a title company, one you trust, in the platform. As we keep building this, we will have not recommended, but suggested or sponsors that will be attorneys, title companies, insurance agents that specialize in this kind of insurance. So it's a great question, but my answer is, it's up to you folks. I mean, do you want an attorney or not? I use one, so I would honestly say, yeah, get yourself an attorney.
Okay, Bill, he says, I understand there are countless variables, but let's say 100,000 is invested today with Private Money Club. What could be the potential return approximately in 15 years from now?
Okay, first thing you said is a swear word. You said $100,000 invested in Private Money Club. Wrong. You're never investing money in Private Money Club ever. That word's a swear word in Private Money Club. But let's just say you had 100 grand and you wanted that 100 grand to make and go work for you. So what you could do is go into Private Money Club and you find one of those really cool opportunities, those deals, and then you and that person that has that deal strike a relationship, and then you decide to lend that money through the proper channels and the proper guidelines or best practices, and you lend the money to that person. How much is that person willing to pay you? So what was his name?
Bill.
Bill?
Bill, yeah.
Bill, all right. So Bill, my question back to you is how much do you want, man? You're the bank. You set the terms. If you got the money, you call the terms, man. What is that old statement? The person that has the gold makes the rules. You got the gold, man. So what do you want? You want 12? You want 15? You want 18? That's a bit greedy, but it's okay. There's some people in here that'll pay you 18% with 100 grand. I know one of them, he's sitting in the back, if that deal's still open. So you are the bank. You set the terms. So it's not investing money in Private Money Club. It's you being your own bank and you determining your terms. Then all you need to do is just match it up. Find the person that's willing to pay you what you want on your money. And if you get no action, guess what? You're fishing with the wrong bait. You're being too greedy. And then it's time to get realistic with your money. And then that's when you'll start getting deals.
Okay, Leslie says, does the annual fee stay the same as your first year, or will it go up?
So if you sign up, does the annual fee stay the same for
The first, well, does it stay the same as it was in the first year?
Oh, does it stay the same as it was for the first year? If you sign up tonight or tomorrow, the 14th or the 15th, your annual price of $997 will be $997 for no less, and I'm going on the record saying this is all recorded, no less than 3 years. So you're locked in for 3 years. Okay, if you sign up after the 15th, nope, every year that we want to raise it, you're going to pay the higher price.
Okay, Frank, he says, can you split deals? Say the borrower needs 100,000, but I only have 50,000. Can you find a partner?
This is a great question. Can you split deals? So this comes down state by state. So it's different for states. So for all disclaimers and everything else, I'm not making a recommendation, a suggestion, but in specific states, the answer is yes. So for example, remember I was showing you over there, the swipe left, swipe right, or just going in and messaging people. There could be 10 people that message one borrower on one deal. One person might only have 50, one's got 20, one's got 100. Combined, they take down the deal. So as long as they follow the rules, which the rules, how are you going to know what the rules are? Call your attorney. Don't call me. I'm not Ghostbusters. Call your attorney and ask them, can we do a joint deal? Can we pool money in this state? And your attorney will advise you on whether or not you can. So there are definitely states you can do that. And what we're going to be doing, so that's a great question because I didn't mention that in the future pacing. One thing we're really going to do is we're going to have all this knowledge. These questions that are coming up are great questions. We're going to have all these things in there to tell people if they had a question, can I do this? Here will be the states. Our attorney will put in where the states are that you can actually do that. And if it's not one of those states, you'll know, okay, I can't do it that way. Great question.
Anybody else have questions? I'm kind of hogging.
I was literally talking to a friend last week who's a real estate investor, and he talked about his frustration with traditional institutional financing because he's really good at finding deals, creates great cash flow in the deals, but he's very limited when it comes to the institution. And so maybe you could talk about the difference of institution and why you should choose private.
Oh, I love that. Institutions over private. So institutions are just professional lenders or banks or Wall Street firms. And then private individuals, we all know what that is, right? It's us. It's all of us, okay? So the difference between the two is one wants to build a relationship with you, the private lender. They want to build a relationship, so they'll work with you. You guys can talk through terms and everything else. The institution, they're the boss. You're not really negotiating. I mean, unless you're somebody who's got a lot of money, it's going to be hard. And the other interesting thing about that is like this is a really experienced investor that is saying he's sick of dealing with banks, sick of dealing with institutions. This literally provides a platform just for people like him. And it really opens up doors that were, I don't want to say never available, but never available in one place. The cool thing about Private Money Club is this is a first of its kind. We didn't think it was. We kept trying to find competitors, but this is it. Our attorney even told us, nobody's ever done this. So for somebody like that, the difference between an institution and a private money lender, to me, is a big headache with the institution. And you can build a relationship that just keeps paying dividends and keeps, and I don't mean literally dividends, but you get what I'm saying, keeps paying rewards to you. And you guys just keep doing deals and deals. I mean, look at what Dwight just said. I mean, I bet you a lot of those lenders have done multiple deals with Dwight. And a lot of the people in this room and members of Private Money Club, a lot of times they just lend to the same people. I keep lending to the same people because I've built a relationship. I have a comfort zone. I mean, the thing is, too, institutions, you better fit in that little square box, folks, that little square box. And if you don't, you're not getting it. And I don't mean to bring this up, but this is just a little forward pace. We're actually here. In case you don't know, we're going into a recession. Oh, I know. Everybody telling you it's not. Government saying, nope, we changed the rules for a recession. And the problem is, if you're 38 years or younger, you don't even know what the impact of a recession means. Well, let me give you just a quick look when it comes to institutional lenders. Now you see them. Now you don't. Understand? When this thing lets loose and everything starts getting bad, and everybody really has, you got the opportunity to buy great deals because everything deflates, everything goes down in price. What if you could buy houses? Let's just pick on Florida. What if you could buy houses 30 to 40% off in Florida? That'd be a good investment, wouldn't it? It'd be like that quad that I just told you about. And you'd say, oh my God, I got this thing under contract for pennies. And you go to the bank, and the bank, because of the recession, has frozen most of their lending. Unless you are like an A+++++. You ever see that movie? Plus, Ralphie, just like that. Unless you fit that criteria, you're not getting the bank's money. But you know what happens when a recession hits? People lose faith in Wall Street. People lose faith in banks. People lose faith in institutions. And what does that mean? They're looking for opportunities, and you are that opportunity. Sean, that person is that opportunity. Money doesn't disappear in a recession. It changes hands. And hopefully, after tonight, you all know where that hand is. That hand is you.
Okay, so we are really short on time. So
yes, one more.
Really sorry for everybody who doesn't get their questions answered right now live. But I do have one more that's really, really important, and it's from Chris Bizub, for everybody who knows Chris. He says, how do I get that sexy flowing hair?
Well, let me tell you, you go through COVID and you just say, fuck it, I'm not going to cut my hair anymore. That's how you do it. Folks, thank you all so very much. I appreciate you. We'll see you next time.